Now we're going to talk for just a minute about the value of coins. We know that the penny, he's kind of easy to figure out because he's brown, and he's the only one that's brown. We know that he is the same as 1. He's equal to 1. His value is 1 cent. When I think about the penny, I remind myself of what he is, what his name is, and how much he's worth by this poem. Penny, penny, easily spent, copper, brown, and worth 1 cent. I also remind myself, I can write his name. He's worth 1 cent. And he also reminds me of the other way we've been looking at numbers when we've been drawing math proof pictures, that when I'm drawing a 1, something that is worth 1, I draw a dot. Okay. The next coin we've learned about is the dime. Here he is. And I remember that a dime is worth 10. And we've learned all about the tens and the ones in numbers. So a number like this, we know is made of 5 tens and 8 ones. So if I think about this number and I draw a regular math picture of it, I would draw 5 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I wanted to do this with money instead, with the same number, I would say that 58 cents is equal to 5 dimes, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can see that my dimes go with my tens, my pennies go with my ones. And really this is the same thing we learned because we all know all about tens and ones to match our number. So talking about the dime, we can remember him by remembering, and you know it's kind of tricky because a lot of coins are this color. So we have to remember them by something different than just their color. Penny is easy because he's the only one that's brown. But when we start getting to the silver coins, they all have the same color, so it's harder to tell them apart. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. He's the littlest silver coin. When I would name him the dime, he's worth 10 cents. And if I were to draw the other way, instead of the money way of showing him, I would draw a stick, a 10 stick. A 10 stick has 10 ones in it. A dime has 10 pennies in it. Okay? Then the next one I would learn about is another silver coin. And this one is thick. That's how I kind of remember this one, being different than the other silver coins. Here's that dime that we just learned about. Here's the new one. Okay? See how this guy's little? So he's a dime because he's little, but he's also thin. He's not as thick as the nickel. And if you get real money out with your mom and your dad, look at a real dime, look at a real nickel. The dime really is thinner. The nickel is thicker, okay? That's a great way to help remember to tell them apart. So going back to the nickel, nickel, nickel. I can't remember the poem for that one. I'll have to remember that one in a minute. I know he's worth 5. We're going to put him right here. We're going to label him nickel. He's worth 5 cents. And if we were to draw a math picture, if we think back to the ways we draw our math pictures, we don't really have a drawing for the 5 in, like if we were to draw in the number form, in the picture form of numbers. We weren't drawing 5s. We were only drawing 1s, 10s. Oops, let me write these a different way. We were doing hundreds, 10s, and 1s. What we did learn, though, in our daily math routine is that a 10 is made of 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 groups of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we've been practicing that when we have all of those ones together, half of them is 5. Because we know that this group of 5 plus this group of 5 makes a whole 10. So we did practice circling the 5s when we learned about that 10. A nickel is worth 5. A nickel's value is less than 10. 5 is less than 10. In fact, the value of a nickel is exactly half of 10. See, here's 10. If I take half of it, that's the 5. And we know the other group would also be a 5 because 2 5s put together make a 10. Okay? What's tricky, really tricky, is that the nickel is only 5 cents. The dime is worth more, 10 cents. But the size of the coin is smaller than this one. I don't know why they did that. Whoever made our money made it very tricky to learn about it. Okay? So we have penny, dime, and nickel. Penny, penny, easily spent, copper, brown, and worth 1 cent. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Mrs. Reed can't remember the nickel poem right now, and I do not have it in this classroom with me, so we'll put that on the next video. But we know that a nickel's thicker, it's silver too, it's only worth 5, half of the dime. 2 nickels would still equal 10.